Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I've uploaded 2 brand new videos to my High Impact TV website. This last one right here is CNN's Jim Acosta mass shames Trump supporters. This is content that I can't put anywhere on social media. This is censorship-free, unvarnished, undiluted truth for members only. The link is in the description. Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give a real quick shout out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. And the reason I promote it, guys, is because I use it every single day and I know that it works, and I've proven it in videos in the past. If you use the link in the description, you're going to get 50% off, and that's going to help you protect your identity, your activity, and your location anytime you're surfing on the net. That link is in the description below. I couldn't not do this article right here. They say you can't make it up. Yeah, sure you could. But why would you have to? Transsexual Satanist Anarchist wins Republican nomination for New Hampshire County Sheriff after running unopposed. That's right. Aria DiMezzio won the GOP bid for Sheriff of Cheshire County in New Hampshire. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Here's the person right here. This is nothing short of fascinating to me. Now, I ask you guys, do not judge a book by its cover, please. And I have one question. Do you want to be free? Do you want to be free? Do you want dangerous freedom, or do you want peaceful slavery? The choice is yours. You must decide. A transgender woman who describes herself as a satanic anarchist has won the Republican Party nomination for sheriff in New Hampshire County after running on the platform F the police. I'm not kidding. I'm going to show you the campaign sign. Stay tuned. Aria DiMezzio told Inside Sources when asked about the reaction from Republicans, "I can't imagine they're happy about this. But it's for a reason that you don't know yet unless you know the story. So stay tuned." DiMezzio captured the GOP nomination for Cheshire County Sheriff on Tuesday night after she ran unopposed in the party primary. She won despite the fact that she received no support, that's zero support, from the county or state GOP. There's this person right here, and here is the campaign slogan. Aria DiMezzio for sheriff, F the police. This is not an Onion News article, guys. This is legit. It's been reported on, let's see, it's been reported on Fox, Inside Sources, Daily Mail. Everybody's reporting on this. But, you know, and there's a lot of people saying some bad stuff about this individual, but I'm going to let you hear this individual talk and you decide what you think about the content of what this person actually says and the view this person has on freedom. DiMezzio will have an even more formidable task as she will face off against a 4-term incumbent Democrat, Eli Rivera. And here's Eli right here. 4-term Democrat incumbent. The head of the Cheshire County Republican Party, Marilyn Huston, misgendered DiMezzio by referring to her as he when she offered congratulations. He did very well with the primary. Oh, that's misgendering right there. And that was wonderful. But this person, I don't think this person, if you listen, after you listen to what this person says, I don't think this person is going to care about somebody misgendering them because they're not about force and violence. And I'll get to that in a second. DiMezzio is a member of a group of libertarian activists known as the Free Keene Group. During the recent GOP primary for governor, the group backed Rich Paul, who legally changed his name to Nobody. That's right. Nobody ran for this position right here. Who won? Nobody. Who lost? Nobody. Nobody lost the primary on Tuesday to the Republican incumbent, Governor Chris Sununu. Last year, nobody lost his bid to become mayor of Keene. Nobody did. Nobody did. DiMezzio, and again, guys, I'm not making this stuff. I'm not making it up. This isn't an Onion News article. This is legit. This is actually happening in New Hampshire as I read this. DiMezzio is the host of an internet radio show in which she is known as Shemale. Initially, Free Keene began as an offshoot of the Free State Project of Libertarians, but the Free State Project has since distanced itself from the Free Keene group. According to Huston, DeMezzo ran as a Republican because she was unable to get onto the Libertarian Party's ticket. She signed up to run as a Republican 2 days before the deadline after it was learned that Earl Nelson, the longtime GOP candidate, was not running. DeMezzo said she regretted that the party has not supported her candidacy. They're clearly not on my side, DeMezzo said. In the town of Ringe, Nelson received more than 200 write-in votes on Tuesday. And here's one of the ballots right here, where these 4 people, including Aria DeMezzo and Nobody, are written in. You can see that right there in the lower right-hand corner. But I want you to listen to what DeMezzo actually says and what this person's platform is. Check this out. This is from Citizen Kane YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm Aria DeMezzo, and I'm running for councilor.
And I just ask you to keep an open mind. Don't judge a book by its cover. Just listen, judge a person by the content of their character, not by, hair color or whatever. Listen to what this person says. And let me know what you think. Does what this person is about to say line up with the principles of individual liberty, period?
For Ward 2. Now, a lot of people are going to come in here and talk about their campaign promises and all the fancy little visions they have for the city of Keene that they want you to help them make real by voting for them. I don't care about that. And you probably don't either. I'm not going to talk at you about what my various campaign ideas are. You can go to eattherich.keene.com if you're really curious about that. Instead, I want to talk to you about fear. Because it's fear that the state uses, that the government uses to manipulate us into getting on board with all kinds of horrific ideologies. It's fear that our neighbor may use their freedom in a way that we don't approve of that causes things like the smoking age increase here in Keene.
Yeah, and that's the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. People in higher places, the authorities, create the problem, wait for a fear-based reaction, and then step in to provide the pre-planned solution, which equals getting rid of more of your rights and getting rid of more of your wealth. It's a transfer of wealth and power from you to the political parasites.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. This has had one effect. It's caused people 18 to 20 to simply go to Swansea or Marlborough, which deprives businesses in the area of that income. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that you can.
So if we can just set aside for a moment, I mean, there are preconceived notions and ideas about a person who looks like this, but is what this person is saying true? Does it line up with individual liberties? Is it more consistent with dangerous freedom or peaceful slavery?
Can prohibit people from doing things because you don't like those things is completely ineffective. It's what caused the people like Al Capone of the 1920s to become prominent in the first place. And it wasn't the FBI. It wasn't the CIA, the NSA, or anyone else investigating these people that caused them to finally go away.
Yeah, everything this person is saying right here, it's almost like a disconnect because we have this profile of how we believe a person who looks like this usually talks and acts. They're usually acting like a snowflake. They're usually acting triggered. They're usually asking for force and violence to come against somebody who misgenders them or uses the improper pronoun or whatever. And so when you have somebody who looks like this that's actually talking sense, it kind of tricks your mind,
What caused people like Al Capone to go away and things like Budweiser, Smirnoff, and all of these other alcohol companies that operate in broad daylight to become prominent and successful was repealing prohibition. So now we have kids to 18 through 20 who are just going to Swansea or Marlborough or somewhere nearby to buy their cigarettes. It's completely ineffective. And the same thing is true about shrooms, methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana. Whatever you want to cite that you don't want people doing, people are going to do it whether you like it or not.
Yep, that's true. People are going to do it whether you like it or not. We'll get back to that in a second. But she said she's more liberal in many ways when compared to her Democratic opponent, Rivera. I'm more liberal than he is. There's tons of things people get fined for, arrested for, that don't actually have any victims. So DeMezzo is talking about people who go to jail for victimless crimes. Guys, if there is no victim, there can be no legitimate crime. You can make it up if you want to, but it's not really a crime if there's no victim. DeMezzo also identifies, and get this, as a high priestess of the Reformed Satanic Church. It's not just the Satanic Church, it's the Reformed Satanic Church. It's like, oh, I didn't know Satanists could do any reformation. And if there was reformation, it seems like they wouldn't be Satanists. It's just a total mind F, which describes itself as an organization dedicated to the sovereignty of the individual and to the principle of non-aggression. What do you think about those apples? Unlike the Church of Satan, the Reformed Satanic Church doesn't define itself as a religion. We are an anti-religion, the organization's website claims. Religion is authoritarian. We reject all proclaimed authority as arbitrary and at best backed by threats of force and violence, which is exactly what a law is. A law is nothing more or less than the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. Back to Aria DeMezzo.
The only thing you're going to do is increase the cost to society, to ordinary people, to punish those people for doing things that you don't approve of.
And that's exactly what the drug war is. The drug war is people saying, hey, you can't have that plant. You can't have that substance. You can't engage in this. And if you do, well, we know it's not, you've left no victim, but we're still going to call it a crime. Oh, you're buying and selling alcohol like they did back in Prohibition. Oh, you're drinking alcohol. You're transporting alcohol. Well, you're a criminal and you're going to be taken to prison and we're going to confiscate your property. This does nothing but degrade and degenerate society. That's why they tried it as a pilot program from 1920 to 1933, and then they got rid of it because it was an utter failure. An utter failure. It gave rise to so much crime and mayhem, they had to get rid of it. They had to repeal it.
Now,
same with the drug war. This war on drugs, it's not a war on drugs, it's a war on people. It's been long, costly. We cannot afford the war on drugs. There are people sitting in prison right now not because they did something wrong, but because they disobeyed the edicts of politicians, political parasites.
Heroin is a bit of a problem
hey guys, thank
for
you for
people.
subscribing.
I've never done heroin. I have no interest in doing heroin. But it's not because it's illegal that I don't do it. It's not because it's illegal that you don't do heroin. It's because it's a bad idea. The people out there who are going to do heroin, they're doing it anyway, whether it's legal or not. So why not have these legal above-the-board channels for them to get that heroin so they're not dying of fentanyl overdoses out in the streets? That would be an ideal
Now, I know that
solution,
she's
wouldn't
going to
it?
say this is an ideal solution, but and I understand that people would bristle against that, but you got to keep in mind, there are things that demonstrate, like, for example, in the 1920s through 1933, Prohibition was a complete and utter failure. It gave rise to crime. As soon as they took that away, the Al Capones of the world, they had to find another business. They had to find another shtick. You got Portugal, which decriminalized drugs. Crime went down. Drug use actually went down. So there is a point to be made there, a practical point to be made.
We've seen this in countries around the world that have, in fact, decriminalized all drugs. And what happened was that addiction rates fell, overdose rates fell, prostitution fell, sex trafficking fell. All of those things fell as a result of getting rid of the absurd war on drugs. And to fight this absurd war on drugs, we have an idyllic little Keene here. The police department has a freaking bear cat. Are you kidding me? What? This is almost Mayberry in terms.
I've never heard it called a bear cat. I went ahead and looked it up. It's like an MRAP. Why? I guess they do call it a bear cat, but I've always called it an MRAP. Never called it a bear cat. But this is what DeMezzo is talking about.
In terms of how ordered and structured it is, the chances of the city of Keene ever needing to use that bear cat are minimal. And if they do happen to use it, it's over something absurd.
People are also criticizing DeMezzo for having an anarchist necklace and a peace symbol on tattooed on the arm there. This person says anarchy necklace and peace tattoo. Okay, buddy. As though, because people correlate anarchy with chaos, and nothing could be further from the truth. It just comes from an and archon. And etymologically, an archon just literally means no rulers, no masters. That's it.
like the pumpkin riots or something like that, that aren't even applicable anymore. That's not going to stop them. And we have city council on video bragging to one another, oh, look, we're getting a tank. This is not what we need from people who are supposed to be looking out for our best interests. Our best interests don't require them to have tanks, because your best interests and my best interests, they correspond more often than they disagree. And the fear that we're peddled about how we disagree about this, we disagree about that, and it's just going to ravage and destroy all of society if we don't keep it under control using the state.
In other words, if we don't have, and that is the argument of a lot of statists, if we don't have madmen with a monopoly on force and power, society will erode. Look, if the problem with society is that we have evil people in this world, then the last thing you want to do is give some of those evil people a monopoly on force and power. That's the exact opposite of what you should be doing.
Similarly used to justify things like the concentration camps that Donald Trump and the Obama administration set up throughout the United States, and that Americans are gladly turning a blind eye to. None of this is acceptable.
So sweeping into that and receiving the condemnation of DeMezzo here is a Donald Trump and a Barack Obama. So that's what I like about not playing the two-party politics, taking yourself out of that paradigm so you can kind of hover above it and take a look at it and check it out without being biased, without cementing yourself into cognitive dissonance, without checking yourself into the cult of personality.
And it's all based 100% on fear. If we want to be free, if we want to live our lives as we believe to be best, we have to be free. And we have to be free of fear. I'm Ari DeMezzo. Vote for me for City Council Representative for Ward 2, and I will not legislate anything. I don't want to regulate anything. I want to get all regulations out of the way so that you can be the best person that you can be. And it's the legislation, it's the regulations, it's the absurd bans and prohibitions against this and against that that keep us fighting one another rather than fighting the state.
I think what this person said is far more powerful than how this person is going to be judged because of the way DeMezzo looks. And I think that's sad because, I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, to me, this is off-putting, okay? The way the outward package, the way the outside of the book looks, it's off-putting. But I cannot deny the fact that what this person said is absolutely 100% in line with freedom. The very thing that people say that they die for, the very thing that people say that they want, but then they turn right around and become hypocrites and say, yeah, but we have to have a madman or a political parasite control you and make laws and edicts that take away more of your freedoms and deprive you of more of your wealth. So while people may laugh at this, I take this pretty seriously. I mean, yeah, it's hilarious to say something like Reformed Satanic Church and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if there's an attempt to be ridiculous here. It's kind of sad because I view DeMezzo as somebody who articulated what true freedom, the principles of liberty and freedom, and the non-aggression principle actually is. I think DeMezzo did a phenomenal job and is good at articulating true freedom. So it's unfortunate that people won't take this person seriously because of what the book looks like. So I want to see what you guys have to say. I wanted to get this out there. This is trending pretty high today. Like I said, a lot of people are dealing with it. But what are your thoughts about this? Did this person say anything that was against truth, liberty, common decency, and respect? Or would you rather have somebody who looks more Republican, looks more GOP, that's actually going to take away your freedom, take away your liberty, fund things like that MRAP, Bearcat, whatever? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all going to need is storable food.
It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.